G'day traders, 1 minute mindset reset today, talking about repetition. Repetition is the mother of all learning. And we've been doing hill repeats over and over again with my 16-year-old son. Up and down, up and down, up and down. So, two great questions from traders. Number one, what was your accelerated learning process? And the second part was, if I can only trade certain sessions, what do you suggest? Okay, so first thing I did was I picked out what my best number one trade setup was. And I've talked about this. If you can only trade one setup, what would it be? What are the criteria? And then I went back through multiple instruments, and I still do this as far back as I can, and I scroll day by day to specific session times. So one day or 1 hour, I'll do Asia or the US session. And I only look for certain things. So number one, has it broken a previous day's high? Are we on day 2, day 3? Have we broken a low? Has it broken out the night before in the US? Come back inside into the open of Asia. What type of day is it? Is this a scalp? Is it a sizable scalp? Or is this a sizable trade day? And then going through multiple days of data to see what my results were. And I try to make it so dummy proof and foolproof that I can't screw it up. So no analysis paralysis, no second guessing. It's a trade, it's a level, it's a stop, it's a target. And it's as simple as that. Is it 25, is it 50, is it 100? And training myself that when I see that pattern over and over and over again, hit the trade, put the stop, and put the target in. That's it. Forcing myself to just focus on the highest probability setups, because it eliminates out. So the whole point is this: is there a trade or no trade? It doesn't mean there wasn't a trade in that session on another instrument. It just means that there wasn't one on that set. So if you can only trade London, or you can only trade Asia, or you can trade New York, one of the biggest things I find with retail traders is they want to take a trade and hold on to it all day, or they want to trade every session, but they never have, like you, I've got a colleague in the States. He's gonna make $3 million this year, and his average trade size in terms of the range sometimes is only 25 to 30 cents. He takes a couple of those in an hour and he's done. And you know, he's on track. That's not his biggest days. His biggest days are sized in more, but there's 20 and 30 cent moves that he can size into, not recklessly, with controlled risk, and there's a plan behind that. But point being is that I don't want to be holding on to something all day through 3 sessions. I want to be able to go to the screen for that hour in that session and have a set criteria for a trade entry, whether it's US, Asia, London. Now I'm going to be moving overseas, so my main focus will be the US session. Probably only trade the US session. So now, second part of that is, if you can only trade certain times, then do the same type of focused training with that time frame. So if you, regardless of what time that is, whether it's during a 12 candle window, whether it's I very rarely ever look at the US close, but there's lots of tremendous opportunities later in the US session. However, that's in the middle of the night for me when I'm sleeping, so I don't test that. And I know there's lots of traders in the Northern Hemisphere that do trade the close, and they trade it quite successfully. So that's something that you have to test yourself, and then again create a basket of instruments, 4, 5, 6 pairs. See, it's not about holding 6 pairs up on the screen and watching for which one is a trade. It's about scrolling through that 6 and saying, okay, these 2 are set up properly for this session. I might get a trade. Here's my levels. Now I got to watch and wait. And that's what you're doing. You're waiting. You're waiting because they're going to set it up. They're going to set it up. There it is. Okay, I'm going to take the CAD, the US CAD. It's high of the day, high of the week. It's day 1. They brought it up, you know, almost 75 pips. They've locked in 50. Bang, there's 25 straight down in 7 minutes. That's an easy trade. That's reproducible. It's executable. So you have to know what your strategy is. What's your highest probability strategy? Like, make it so simple that there's none of this guesswork. And then put together the instruments that are going to give you those trades during the time that you can trade, and then go back and test and test and test so that you can wire this to execute. so that you don't get to the screen and go, well, the candle was flashing and I wasn't sure, and then I missed the trade. I said this yesterday to a trader. Once I know it's locked in, my thesis, they've gone up or they've gone down and they've locked it in and they're coming back inside, I'm focused on price. That's it. The price level. I'm going to get filled as close to the numbers, 75, 50, double zeros, whatever that is. And then I'm putting my stop in. And on most of the Forex pairs, it's going to be 15, 20 max. And NASDAQ, oil, gold even, 20 pips is a max stop, because once they're going to go, they go. It doesn't come back. If it comes back and it goes into the next quarter and stops me out, I'm completely wrong. It's going the other way. And that's where it comes back to timings. You need to understand the timings of your session. If you're trading in Europe, the London equity market is, if you're getting in that first hour, it should accelerate. If the move is accelerating, it should accelerate, and then London might open halfway down in the move. Or if it's in New York, it might go 25. Take the 25, because if there's any sign of it auctioning to come back up or back down, because it's going to do 50 after New York opens, it could come back down and work the low or work the high for 30 to 45 minutes into that end of that hour, and then bang, they move at 50, 75, 100 pips in the other direction. That comes back to where you're at. Are you inside? Has it gone outside of the high and the low of the week? Is it day 1, day 2, day 3, weekly high, weekly low, those sorts of things. It's important that you know exactly what your plan is, so that when you go to the screen, you can execute. There's plenty of trades. Find the instruments that are going to give you those opportunities. Make it as simple as possible so that you can execute it in live time, and then make it happen. Have a great weekend, traders, and may the markets go with you.